My beloved child, quiet your heart and listen to me. Do not rush past this moment. Do not let the noise of your day pull you away before your soul receives what I came to speak. I know you have been carrying more than you have told anyone. I know the thoughts that visit when the room becomes quiet. I know the questions you hide behind tired eyes. I know the prayers you whispered so softly that even you wondered whether they reached heaven. But my child, they reached me. Not one word was lost. Not one tear was unseen. Not one night of waiting passed without my presence near you. There were evenings when your heart felt like a dark house. You kept moving, kept answering people, kept moving, but inside you wondered if strength left. You wondered if I was silent because I was far away. You wondered if the delay meant I had forgotten the promise. Listen to me now. Silence does not mean absence. Waiting does not mean rejection. A closed season does not mean a closed future. I was with you in the moments when you could not explain your own heaviness. I was with you when you sat on the edge of your bed and tried to gather courage for another day. I was with you when you smiled at others, while your soul quietly asked, Lord, how much longer? My beloved child, I heard that question. And I am not answering you with shame. I am not answering you with disappointment. I am answering you with love. There is a reason I am calling you to stillness before I call you to movement. Your heart has been running for so long that even rest feels unfamiliar. You have lived in a rhythm of pressure trying to solve tomorrow before today has even finished. You have carried worries that were never meant to become your home. So before I speak about the road ahead, I first want to bring you back to this simple truth. You are here, you are breathing, you are held. Your life is not slipping out of my hands. The enemy of your peace has tried to convince you that if you are not in control of everything, then everything will fall apart. But my child, your control was never the foundation of your safety. My love is, my presence is, my faithfulness is. Look at the morning sky before the sun fully rises. For a while the world still looks dim, the trees are still shadows. The road ahead is not fully clear, yet the dawn has already begun its quiet work. Light does not ask the night for permission. It simply arrives slowly, faithfully, until darkness can no longer remain as it was. This is what I am doing in you. Even if you cannot yet see the whole change, I am already touching the edges of your life with light. I am already softening places that pain made hard. I am already breathing hope into rooms inside you that disappointment tried to lock. Do not judge my nearness by how quickly your circumstances change. I am often nearest when you feel least able to continue. I am often working deepest when the surface looks still. A seed does not shout from beneath the soil, yet life is forming there. Roots grow in hidden places before fruit appears in open places. And you, my child, are not buried. You are being rooted. There is a difference. What felt like delay has been teaching you depth. What felt like silence has been teaching you to listen beyond noise. What felt like loneliness has been making space for you to know my presence in a way crowds could never give you. I know you wanted answers quickly. I know you wanted the door to open when your hand first touched it. But I have not been careless with your heart. I have been guarding it, shaping it, drawing it closer to me. There are things I want to tell you, but first your soul must become quiet enough to receive them. So release the argument inside your mind. Release the need to understand every detail tonight. Release the fear that you are behind. You are not behind in my timing. You are not forgotten in my plan. You are not too broken for my purpose. You are not too late for my grace. My beloved child, I have seen the way you compare your journey to others. You see their open doors and wonder why yours still seems locked. But I do not write every story with the same rhythm. Your life has a melody that must unfold in its appointed order. Some notes have been quiet. Some have sounded like questions instead of answers. But I am still the one conducting the song. Do not leave before the music changes. This moment is not the end of your story. It is the place where I am asking you to listen differently. I am not asking you to pretend that you are not tired. I am not asking you to hide your questions behind religious words. Bring me your honest heart. Bring me the part of you that feels weak. Bring me the part of you that is afraid to hope again. I am not offended by your trembling. I am gentle with it. When a child wakes in the night afraid of the dark, a loving father comes close. He speaks softly. He reminds the child that the house is safe, that they are not alone that morning will come. That is what I am doing for you now. I am coming close. I am reminding you that morning will come. Be still and know that I am God. Let that truth settle deeper than the storm inside your thoughts. Let it move beneath the surface, beneath the fear, beneath the tired places, until your soul remembers what anxiety made it forget. You belong to me. You are not abandoned. You are not unseen. You are not walking into the future alone. So quiet your heart, my beloved child. Lay down the weight of trying to hear me through panic. Let my peace meet you here, not after everything is fixed, but right here in this unfinished place. I have more to tell you. I have more to show you. And as you keep listening, you will begin to understand that the silence was never empty. It was full of my presence, preparing your heart for what comes next. And now, my beloved child, as your heart becomes quiet enough to hear me, I want you to understand what I have been preparing you to receive. The darkness you have known is not your final home. You may have lived under it for so long that it began to feel familiar. You learned how to wake up with heaviness. You learned how to keep going while carrying questions. You learned how to smile while a hidden part of you wondered whether joy would ever feel natural again. But listen to me with a steady heart. A long night is still only a night. It does not have authority to cancel the morning I have appointed. There were seasons when your thoughts felt like a room with no windows. Every direction seemed closed. Every prayer seemed to return without an answer. Every step forward felt as if it led back to the same place. You wondered whether life would always feel like pushing through thick fog, unable to see what was waiting just ahead. My child, I saw you there. I saw you when hope felt small. I saw you when disappointment tried to teach your heart not to expect anything good. I saw you when you lowered your dreams because you were afraid to be hurt again. I saw you when you told yourself to be strong even though what you truly needed was to be held. I was holding you. Even when you could not feel my hand, it was beneath you. Even when you thought you were standing alone, I was keeping you from falling. Do not mistake a hidden work for an absent God. When the earth rests beneath winter, it may look lifeless. The branches may appear bare. The field may look empty. But beneath the cold ground, roots are still alive. Life is being preserved in silence. The season is not dead. It is preparing for a bloom that has not yet appeared. This is what I am doing in you. The place where you wept is not the place where your story ends. The pressure that pressed against your soul did not come to erase you. I allowed even that pressure to reveal what was still alive inside you. You are still here, and because you are still here, there is still purpose ahead. My beloved child, I am not asking you to deny that the past has been hard. I'm not asking you to cover pain with beautiful words. I know the weight of what you walked through. I know the days when you felt overlooked. I know the silent battles no one noticed. But I also know what I have been forming through them. I am bringing you out of a season where fear spoke too loudly. Fear told you the door would never open. Fear told you the prayer would never be answered. Fear told you the best days had passed you by. Fear told you that you had missed your moment, that you were too late, too tired, too damaged, too forgotten. But fear is not your shepherd. I am, and I do not lead my children into hopeless endings. I lead them through valleys, but I do not abandon them there. I allow nights, but I also command mornings. I permit seasons of waiting, but I never waste them. I close doors when they would harm you, and I open doors when your heart is ready to walk through them with peace. So, lift your head slowly, my child, not with forced excitement, not with empty pretending. Lift it because I am still speaking. Lift it because I am still moving. Lift it because the story written by anxiety is not the story I have written over your life. There is a new mercy meeting you here. Sometimes my mercy begins quietly, like the first line of light entering through a curtain. At first, only a small corner changes, then another. Then your eyes begin to adjust. Then you realize the darkness is no longer as strong as it seemed. That is how healing often begins. Quietly, honestly, slowly enough that your soul can trust it. Do not despise the first small signs of change, the lighter breath, the calmer thought, the moment you remember a promise and do not feel crushed by doubt. That small maybe can become faith again. And faith, even when it begins small, is precious to me. I am not asking you to run into the future today. I am asking you to notice that the darkness has lost some of its grip. I am asking you to see that despair is not as final as it claimed to be. I am asking you to believe that if I have carried you this far, I will not leave you at the edge of restoration. My beloved child, the new season is not only about changed circumstances, it is about a changed heart within you. It is about learning to breathe again without expecting pain at every turn. It is about receiving joy without suspicion. It is about waking up and no longer believing that sorrow has the right to name your future. I am teaching you to expect light again, not because life will never bring challenges, but because my presence will remain greater than every shadow. Remember this gently. The night does not end by fighting the sun. It ends because the sun rises. In the same way, you do not overcome darkness by wrestling with every fearful thought until you are exhausted. You overcome as you turn toward me, as you let my truth rise within you, as you allow my love to reach the places fear occupied. Let me speak there. Let me breathe fresh hope into the places you stopped visiting because they hurt too much. You are not being called back into the old version of your life. I am not restoring you just so you can return to the same fear, the same weariness, the same cycle of surviving day after day. I am leading you forward. I am making space for peace, wisdom, courage, and a deeper trust than you knew before. This is why you must not call this season wasted. You could not see it then, but I was gathering strength inside you. I was teaching your soul how to endure without becoming bitter. I was showing you that my love could reach you, even when human comfort could not. I was proving that no darkness is strong enough to separate you from my care. So take this truth into your heart. The dark season is coming to an end, not because you forced it to end, not because you understood every lesson perfectly, not because you never felt afraid, but because I am the one who turns seasons, and I am calling you forward. There is still healing ahead. There is still restoration ahead. There is still a road opening beneath your feet. And as you walk with me, you will begin to see that the darkness did not destroy your worth. It only revealed how deeply my light could find you. My beloved child, as the darkness begins to loosen its hold, I want you to hear something deeper than relief. Your pain did not destroy your worth. The tears you cried did not make you less loved. The days you struggled did not make you less chosen. The moments when you felt weak did not erase the purpose I placed inside you. I know pain has a way of lying to the human heart. It tells you that if you were stronger, you would not have been hurt so deeply. It tells you that if you were truly favored, the road would have been easier. It tells you that because something broke your heart, something must also be broken in your identity. But pain is not the author of your value. I am. And what I have spoken over you cannot be canceled by a difficult season. You may look at yourself and see marks from what you endured. You may remember words that cut into your spirit. You may carry memories of being misunderstood, rejected, delayed, or overlooked. But I do not look at you through the lens of what wounded you. I look at you through the love that formed you. When a storm passes through a garden, some branches bend. Some flowers lose petals. The soil becomes soaked and heavy. To the eye, it may seem as if the garden has been ruined. But deep beneath the surface, the roots are learning to hold more firmly. The rain that felt too heavy is also carrying life into hidden places. This is what I have been doing in you. You saw the storm. I saw the roots. You saw the loss. I saw the depth being formed. You saw the pain. I saw the compassion that would one day grow from the place that hurt. Do not call yourself ruined because you have been through rain. Do not call yourself weak because you have bent under pressure. A bent branch can still blossom. A tired heart can still receive joy. A wounded soul can still become a place where my light shines. My beloved child, there are things inside you that suffering did not destroy. It revealed them. It revealed that you could keep praying even when your emotions were tired. It revealed that you could keep loving even after disappointment tried to close your heart. It revealed that you could keep standing even when no one understood how much strength it took just to continue. You thought you were barely surviving, but I saw endurance. You thought you were falling behind, but I saw patience being shaped. You thought your heart was becoming empty, but I saw space being made for deeper trust. This is why I do not measure your life the way people measure it. People often look at visible success. They look at speed, appearance, achievement, and applause. But I look at the hidden places where faith is formed. I look at the yes you gave me when no one clapped for it. I look at the nights when you chose not to give up even when giving up seemed easier. Those moments mattered to me. There were days when you wondered if your tears were only water falling into the ground. But, my child, I received them. I gathered what you thought was wasted. I held what you thought no one noticed. And I am using even those tears to water a harvest you have not yet seen. You are not less because you cried. You are not less because you needed time to heal. You are not less because some prayers left your lips with trembling. A child who runs into the arms of a father is not rejected because their voice shakes. They are received because they are loved. In the same way, when you came to me with a trembling heart, I did not turn away. I came closer. I know there were times when shame tried to sit beside your pain and give it a name. Shame said this happened because you are not enough. Shame said this delay means you are forgotten. Shame said this closed place proves you are unwanted. But shame has never spoken my language. My voice does not crush the bruised reed. My hand does not throw away the vessel that has cracks. I am the one who restores. I am the one who breathes life back into places that looked finished. I am the one who takes ashes and teaches them how to become beauty again. Remember Joseph, my child. He was betrayed by people close to him. He was carried far from the life he expected. He was falsely accused. He was forgotten in a place where no one seemed to remember his name. If he had judged his worth by those seasons, he could have believed he was abandoned, rejected, and useless. But I was with him. Even in the pit, his worth was not gone. Even in the prison, his purpose was not gone. Even when people forgot him, I did not forget him. I was preparing wisdom in him, patience in him, discernment in him, and mercy in him. What looked like a chain of losses was becoming a pathway toward purpose. And I am telling you this because your painful chapters are not proof that I left you. They are places where I have been working more deeply than you knew. Do not let a wound become your name. Do not let a delay become your identity. Do not let one broken chapter convince you that the whole book has lost its meaning. You are still mine. You are still held. You are still being formed. I know some parts of your heart are tender. Healing does not always arrive like lightning. Sometimes it comes like warm water poured over cold hands. Slowly feeling returns. Slowly movement returns. Slowly the part that felt numb begins to live again. Let me heal you at the pace your soul can receive. Do not rush yourself because others do not understand your process. Do not punish yourself for needing rest. Do not speak harshly to the places in you that are still learning to breathe. I am patient with you. Be patient with yourself. My beloved child, your worth was never hanging by the thread of perfect circumstances. It was never dependent on who stayed, who left, who noticed, who approved, who misunderstood. Your worth rests in me. Before the pain you were mine. During the pain you were mine. After the pain you are still mine. And what belongs to me cannot be made worthless by suffering. So as I lead you out of this dark season, do not carry the belief that you are damaged beyond restoration. Carry this instead. You have been refined. You have been held. You have been seen. And now as your heart begins to believe again that your pain did not destroy your worth, I will help you understand something else. Some doors were closed not because you were unworthy to enter, but because my love was protecting what I had placed within you. My beloved child, now that you are beginning to see that your pain did not destroy your worth, I want to speak to a place in you that still carries questions. I want to talk to you about the doors I closed. I know some of those closed doors hurt you. You stood before them with hope in your hands. You prayed, you waited, you believed that if the door opened, life would finally make sense. You thought that opportunity, that relationship, that plan, that answer, that timing would be the path into peace. And when it did not open, your heart wondered what you had done wrong. You asked if I was disappointed in you. You asked if you had missed my voice. You asked if I was withholding something because you were not worthy enough to receive it. Listen to me gently. Not every closed door is punishment. Not every delay is denial. Not every no is rejection. Sometimes, my love protects you in a way your feelings do not understand at first. A child may cry when a loving father pulls them back from a road they wanted to cross. The child sees only the other side. The father sees the danger coming. The child feels restrained. The father knows they have been rescued. My beloved child, there were moments when I pulled you back not because I wanted to wound you, but because I saw what you could not see. I saw the weight that door would have placed on your spirit. I saw the confusion behind the invitation. I saw the hidden cost beneath what looked beautiful from a distance. I saw how quickly your peace would have been drained if you had entered before your heart was ready. You wanted the open door. I wanted your soul protected. You wanted quick relief. I wanted lasting freedom. You wanted what looked right in the moment. I was guarding what I placed inside you for the right season. This does not mean your disappointment was wrong. I did not ask you to feel nothing when something you loved did not happen. I know the ache of waiting. I know the heaviness of watching a possibility fade. I know how hard it is to keep trusting when the answer you hoped for becomes silence. But my child, silence around one door does not mean silence over your life. I am still speaking. I am still guiding. I am still arranging the path ahead of you. There are doors I close because they would pull you away from peace. There are places I do not allow you to enter because they would teach your heart to survive by fear instead of trust. There are people I remove from your path because their presence would slowly make you forget who you are in me. At first it may feel like loss. Later you will call it mercy. At first it may feel like delay. Later you will call it preparation. At first it may feel like I withheld something good. Later you will see that I was making room for what was better. Look at a gardener who trims a branch before the season of fruit. To the branch, the cut may seem harsh. To the untrained eye, it may look like the plant is being reduced. But the gardener is not destroying the tree. He is directing its strength. He is removing what would take life without producing fruit. I have been tending your life with that same care. Some things were removed because they were taking too much from your spirit. Some paths were blocked because they would have led you into exhaustion. Some plans were interrupted because the foundation beneath them was not strong enough to hold what you were asking me to build. My beloved child, I know you have looked back at certain moments and wondered why I allowed the disappointment. But one day, with clearer eyes, you will see my fingerprints there. You will remember the door that would not open, and you will understand the protection hidden inside the pain. You will say, Father, now I see. You were not against me. You were going before me. This is why I ask you not to build a home in bitterness. Bitterness tells you I was unfair. Trust tells you I was faithful, even when the answer hurt. Bitterness makes one closed door feel like the end of your hope. Trust lets you believe that my hand can open another way no person can shut. Do not let one no make you afraid of every future. Yes, I have not run out of paths for you. I have not forgotten the desires I planted in your heart. I have not led you this far only to leave you before an empty wall. There are doors ahead that will not require you to abandon your peace in order to enter. There are blessings that will not demand that you lose yourself to keep them. There are relationships, assignments, opportunities, and moments of restoration that will carry my peace because they come from my hand. When the right door opens, you will not have to force it with panic. You may still feel nervous as you step forward, but beneath it there will be quiet assurance, a steady peace, a knowing that this is not driven by fear but guided by grace. Scripture says, trust in the Lord with all your heart and do not lean on your own understanding. That is not a call to stop thinking. It is an invitation to stop worshiping your limited view. Your understanding can only see the door in front of you. My wisdom sees the road beyond it. So when I close what you wanted, bring me the grief. Bring me the confusion. Bring me the questions you are afraid to ask. I am not offended by your honesty. I would rather receive your wounded truth than watch you pretend to be fine while resentment grows quietly inside. Come to me with the ache, and let me hold it. Let me teach you that protection can feel painful before it feels peaceful. Let me show you that my no can carry as much love as my yes. My beloved child, some of the doors I closed were not signs that you were unworthy. They were proof that your life is precious to me. I guarded you because I know what I created you to carry. I redirected you because I know where your purpose must grow. I delayed you because I was strengthening what future blessings would require. And as you begin to understand this, your heart will no longer see every closed door as a verdict against you. You will start to see my hand even in the places that confused you. You will start to recognize that I have been protecting your identity, shaping your faith, and preparing you to stand in the truth of who you really are. Because the next thing I want to restore in you is not merely hope for the future. It is your true identity as my beloved child. My beloved child, after every door I closed, after every path I redirected, there is something deeper I have been protecting within you. I have been protecting your true identity, Not the identity built from what people said about you, not the identity shaped by rejection, failure, waiting, or disappointment, not the identity that fear placed on you during the nights when you felt small. I am speaking about the identity I gave you before the world ever had an opinion. You are my beloved child. Let those words enter slowly. You are not merely someone trying to survive another hard season. You are not merely someone recovering from what happened. You are not the sum of closed doors, unanswered questions, broken plans, or painful memories. You belong to me. And because you belong to me, your life carries meaning that no circumstance has the power to erase. I know there were seasons when you forgot this. Not because you wanted to forget, but because the pressure around you became loud. People made you feel invisible. Delay made you feel behind. Pain made you feel less than who you truly are. And little by little, you began answering to names I never gave you. You called yourself forgotten. You called yourself weak. You called yourself too late. You called yourself hard to love. You called yourself someone who had missed the best part of life. My child, none of those names came from me. I never called you forgotten. I never called you worthless. I never called you too broken to be used. I never looked at your tired heart and decided you were beyond restoration. When I look at you, I see my child. I see the one I formed with intention. I see the one I have carried through hidden battles. I see the one whose tears I received, whose prayers I heard, whose future I still hold with care. Your true identity is not found in how strong you feel today. It is found in who holds you when strength feels far away. There is a difference, my beloved child. Feelings change like weather across an open field. Some mornings your heart may feel brave. Other mornings it may feel heavy before the day even begins. But my love for you does not rise and fall with your emotions. My calling over you does not disappear when you feel uncertain. My hand does not release you because your faith is trembling. You are mine when you feel confident. You are mine when you feel afraid. You are mine when your prayers sound strong. You are mine when all you can whisper is, "Father, help me." This is why I am restoring your identity before I lead you further into the new season. A person who does not know who they are will try to receive blessings through fear. They will cling too tightly. They will chase approval. They will mistake pressure for purpose and exhaustion for faithfulness. But when you know you are loved, you walk differently. You stop begging life to prove you matter. You stop measuring your worth by who stays, who leaves, who notices, or who misunderstands. You stop letting every delay feel like a verdict against you. You begin to stand from a quieter place, a place of belonging, a place of trust, a place where my voice becomes louder than the opinions that wounded you. Remember Gideon, my child. He was hiding when I called him a mighty warrior. He did not feel mighty. He did not see himself as strong. He looked at his situation, his family, his fear, and his limitations. He believed there were too many reasons why he could not become what I was calling him to be. But I did not speak to the fear that was covering him. I spoke to the identity I had placed within him. I called out what was true before he could see it. That is how I speak to you. I do not wait until you feel ready before I call you mine. I do not wait until you understand every part of your story before I call you chosen. I do not wait until you have no more questions before I call you beloved. I speak your identity over you while you are still learning to believe it. You may feel hidden now, but hidden is not the same as forgotten. A pearl is formed in a closed place. A child grows in the secret place before being seen by the world. Roots deepen beneath the soil before a tree can stand in open wind. There are sacred things I form away from applause, so do not despise this hidden season. I have used it to remove false names from you. I have used it to show you which voices had too much power over your heart. I have used it to teach you that your worth must be anchored in me, not in the changing reactions of people. My beloved child, the world often asks you to build an identity from performance. It tells you to become impressive, useful, admired, busy, successful, desirable, and always in control. But if you build yourself only on those things, every storm will threaten to take your peace. I am giving you a foundation deeper than performance. You are loved before you produce. You are seen before you are applauded. You are held before you have answers. You are called before you feel qualified. Let this truth remove the heavy costume you have been wearing. You do not need to perform strength for me. You do not need to hide your tears from me. You do not need to act as if the waiting did not hurt. I already know, and my knowing does not push me away from you. It draws me closer. Come out from behind the version of yourself you created just to be accepted. Come out from behind the smile that says you are fine when your soul is tired. Come out from behind the belief that you must earn love by never needing anything. I am not asking you to become someone else before I embrace you. I am restoring you to who you truly are in me. The child who can rest. The child who can trust. The child who can receive without fear. The child who can walk forward without carrying shame as a second name. And as this truth settles inside you, the old labels will begin to lose their grip. The voice of rejection will not sound as final. The memory of failure will not feel as powerful. The fear of being left behind will no longer control every step. You will begin to recognize yourself again, not as the world defined you, but as I created you. You will no longer ask pain to explain you, because my love will become the name you trust most in every season again. Loved, guided, protected, chosen. And when your true identity becomes steady within you, you will be ready to release the old failure and shame that tried to follow you into the future. My beloved child, now that I am restoring your true identity, I want you to stop living beneath the shadow of old failure and shame. Those shadows have followed you long enough. They have whispered to you in quiet moments. They have reminded you of choices you wish you had made differently. They have replayed words you spoke, doors you missed, seasons you wasted, and moments when you did not become the person you wanted to be. But listen to me with a heart that is ready to be free. Your past is a chapter I can redeem. It is not a prison where you must spend the rest of your life. Shame tells you to keep your head down. Grace lifts your face. Shame says this is who you are. Grace says this is where I found you, but it is not where I will leave you. My beloved child, I have seen the way you punish yourself in silence. You may forgive others more easily than you forgive yourself. You may encourage others with words of hope while speaking to your own heart with harshness. You may believe my mercy is real for the world, but somehow smaller when it reaches your own story. But my mercy does not shrink when it comes to you. I do not offer grace with a hidden limit. I do not hold your past above you like a weight to keep you low. When you bring your failure into my hands, I do not use it to shame you. I use it to teach you, cleanse you, strengthen you, and lead you forward with wisdom. You have been calling some things final that I have only called unfinished. You have been calling some mistakes evidence that you are unworthy. But I see them as places where my compassion can enter and begin again. Do you remember Peter? My child, he promised courage, but fear overtook him. He denied knowing Jesus not once, but again and again. In the silence after the rooster crowed, his heart broke under the weight of what he had done. He could have believed his failure was the end of his calling. But I did not throw him away. I restored him. I met him not with cold rejection, but with a question of love. Do you love me? And through that love, I lifted him from the place of shame and placed purpose back into his hands. That is how I come to you. Not to pretend the past did not happen. Not to tell you that every choice was harmless, but to show you that failure surrendered to me can become a doorway into humility, wisdom, and deeper love. My beloved child, you are not meant to drag old shame into every new morning. You are not meant to wake up each day and consult the memory of your worst moment before deciding whether you deserve hope. Hope is not reserved for people with spotless stories. Healing is not reserved for people who never fell. Purpose is not reserved for people who never wandered. I have always been able to work with surrendered hearts. A scar placed in my hands can become testimony. A regret placed in my light can become wisdom. A broken season placed in my love can become soil for something new. Think of an old field after a fire. At first, everything looks ruined. The ground is dark. The air still carries the memory of smoke. But beneath the surface, the soil is being changed. Seeds that could not open before begin to open after the heat has passed. New green slowly rises from the place people thought was finished. My child, this is not the end of you. There is still life beneath the ashes. There is still purpose beneath the regret. There is still a future beneath the place you thought disqualified you. I know shame has tried to make you hide from me. It tells you to wait until you are stronger before you pray again. It tells you to wait until you feel worthy before you return. It tells you to clean yourself completely before you come near my presence. But a wounded child does not need to heal alone before coming home. Come as you are. Come with the fear. Come with the questions. Come with the memory that still makes your chest tighten. I am not afraid of what you bring. I already know it all, and my love has not changed. My beloved child, when I forgive, I do not pretend. I cleanse. I restore. I remove the weight that shame placed on your back, and I teach you to walk upright again. The enemy wants you bent over old memories, staring at what cannot be changed. I want you standing in mercy, learning from yesterday without living there. There is a holy difference between conviction and condemnation. Conviction invites you into light. Condemnation buries you in darkness. Conviction says, "Come closer, my child, let this be healed." Condemnation says, "Stay away, you are beyond repair." Learn to recognize the difference. My voice may correct you, but it will never crush you. My truth may expose what must change, but it will also offer the grace to change. I do not uncover a wound just to leave it open. I uncover it so I can heal it from the root. So release the agreement you made with shame. Release the belief that you must replay your mistakes to prove you are sorry. Release the fear that joy would be disrespectful to what you lost. Release the idea that your future must always pay for your past. My beloved child, repentance is not living forever under the sound of regret. It is turning back toward me and walking with a heart that is learning to trust again. It is letting my love teach you a new way. It is allowing grace to rebuild what shame tried to destroy. You may still remember what happened, but remembrance does not have to become chains. A healed memory can become a teacher instead of a prison guard. Let me turn the old place into wisdom. Let me turn the regret into tenderness. Let me turn the shame into compassion for others who are still hiding. Because one day someone will need the comfort that grew in you here. Someone will need to know that falling is not the same as being abandoned. Someone will need to see that grace can reach low places and raise a soul again, and you will be able to speak from the place I restored. Not proudly, not carelessly, but with gentle strength. You will say, "I know what mercy can do." So do not live under old failure and shame any longer. Stand where my forgiveness has placed you. Walk where my love is leading you. Receive the clean beginning I am offering today. And as shame loses its power over your heart, you will begin to make room for something I have always wanted you to carry, a peace that does not come from perfect circumstances, but from my presence within you. My beloved child, now that shame is losing its grip on your heart, I want to lead you into the peace I have always desired for you. Not a shallow peace that appears only when life is easy. Not a fragile peace that disappears the moment another problem knocks at your door. I am speaking of the peace that comes from my presence. For a long time you believed peace would come only after everything changed. After the answer arrived, after the person returned, after the pressure lifted, after the money was enough, after the diagnosis improved, after the door finally opened. You told yourself, when this is fixed, then I will rest. But my child, if peace depends only on perfect circumstances, then peace will always feel far away. There will always be one more concern, one more unknown, one more conversation, one more decision, one more mountain standing in front of you. I do not want you to spend your whole life waiting for peace like someone waiting for rain in a dry land, never realizing that I have already placed a spring within the ground beneath their feet. My peace is not given as a reward after every battle ends. My peace is given as a companion while you walk through the battle. It is the quiet strength that enters your soul when you remember I am near. It is the breath that becomes steady even before the storm has fully passed. It is the gentle assurance that says, I may not understand everything, but I am not alone here. My beloved child, this is why I keep calling you back to my presence, not because I want you to escape life, but because I want you to face life from a place that cannot be easily shaken. Look at a small candle in a dark room. The candle does not remove every shadow from every corner at once, but it gives enough light to sit, to breathe, to see the next step. The darkness may still be around it, but darkness cannot swallow what is burning with true flame. That is what my peace does within you. It does not always explain everything immediately. It does not always remove every question at once, but it gives your soul enough light to keep walking without being ruled by fear. You have tried to create peace by controlling everything. You have tried to think through every possible outcome, prepare for every disappointment, guard every vulnerable place, and prevent every future pain. but control has exhausted you. It promised safety but gave you tension. It promised answers but filled your mind with more questions. It promised protection but kept your heart living behind walls. My presence gives what control never could. Rest, clarity, strength, a quiet heart. Remember David, my child. He did not write of peace because his life had no enemies. He knew pressure, he knew betrayal, he knew wilderness seasons. He knew what it felt like to be chased, misunderstood, and surrounded. Yet he could still say that even in the valley of the shadow of death, he would fear no evil because I was with him. Do you see the secret? The valley was still there, the shadow was still there, but my presence was greater than the fear. That is the peace I am teaching you now. Not the peace of a life without valleys, but the peace of a child who knows the shepherd is near. My beloved child, you do not need to wait until your emotions become perfect before you receive my peace. Come with your nervous thoughts. Come with your tired body. Come with the questions that still have no clear answer. Come with the part of you that says, Father, I want to trust you, but I am still afraid. I can meet you there. I do not require a calm performance before I give calm. I bring calm into the place where panic has been sitting too long. Sometimes all I ask is that you pause long enough to let me reach you. Take one honest breath. Release the thought that you must solve your entire life today. Let your shoulders lower. Let your hands open. Whisper my name not as a formula but as a return. When a child hears the voice of a loving parent in a crowded place, fear begins to soften. The noise may still continue, but the child knows where safety is. In the same way, when your soul recognizes my voice, the world may still be loud, but something inside you begins to settle. My peace enters through trust, not through knowing everything, not through controlling everything, not through carrying everything. Through trust. Trust that I am with you in this hour. Trust that I am already in tomorrow. Trust that I am working in places you cannot see. Trust that the same hand that held you through yesterday will not fail you today. My beloved child, I know peace has sometimes felt impossible because your mind has been trained to expect trouble. You have lived so long preparing for pain that rest almost feels unsafe. When things become quiet, your thoughts look for what could go wrong. But I am retraining your soul. I am teaching you that quiet does not have to be feared. Rest does not mean danger is coming. Joy does not have to be questioned. A calm moment does not need to be ruined by searching for the next storm. You are allowed to breathe. You are allowed to receive today without rehearsing tomorrow. You are allowed to let my presence be enough for this moment. My beloved child, peace will not always arrive like a sudden wave. Sometimes it will grow like morning light across your thoughts. At first, you may only notice a small change, a softer response, a slower reaction, a moment when fear rises but does not rule you, a night when you still have questions but you do not feel abandoned by them. Do not despise that beginning. That is, my peace building a home inside you. Little by little, your heart will learn a new rhythm. You will not need to answer every fear immediately. You will not need to chase every imagined danger. You will not need to carry every burden into sleep. You will learn to say, Father, this belongs in your hands. And then you will rest. Not because life is finished, because I am faithful. So receive my peace here in the middle of the unfinished story. Let it settle into the places shame once occupied. Let it guard your thoughts when anxiety tries to return. Let it become the quiet center from which you live, speak, decide, and hope. For as my peace becomes steady within you, you will begin to see something clearly. And when you finally see it, you will not boast in your own strength. You will quietly recognize the grace that carried you, the mercy that steadied you, and the love that kept breathing hope into you, even when your heart felt deeply tired. You have already overcome more than you know. My beloved child, as my peace begins to settle within you, I want you to look back with gentleness and see what you have already survived. You have overcome more than you know. You may not see it that way yet, because you are still close to the pain. When a traveler is still climbing the mountain, they often notice only the next difficult step. They feel the weight in their legs. They feel the wind against their face. They wonder how much farther they must go. But when they finally pause and look behind them, they realize they have already crossed ground they once believed would break them. My child, pause with me now. Look behind you, not to return to the old place, but to recognize my faithfulness along the road. There were days when you thought you could not continue, yet you did. There were nights when worry pressed against your chest, yet morning still found you breathing. There were seasons when disappointment tried to empty your hope, yet some small part of you kept turning toward me. That was not weakness. That was grace carrying you. You may think overcoming only means standing on the other side with every problem solved and every question answered. But I see overcoming differently. I see it in the quiet decision to pray when your feelings are tired. I see it in the moment you choose not to become bitter after being hurt. I see it when you take one honest step forward while your mind still feels uncertain. Overcoming is not always loud. Sometimes it looks like washing your face and trying again. Sometimes it looks like choosing rest instead of panic. Sometimes it looks like whispering, "Father, I do not understand, but I still want to trust you." My beloved child, I saw those moments. I saw the invisible battles that no one clapped for. I saw the times you held your peace when you could have answered from pain. I saw the times you kept loving even though your heart was tender. I saw the times you protected your faith from the voices that tried to make you doubt. My goodness, you thought no one noticed. I noticed, and not one act of quiet endurance was wasted before me. Remember David, my child. Before he wore a crown, he spent long seasons in places that did not look royal. He knew the field before he knew the throne. He knew caves before he knew honor. He knew what it meant to be misunderstood, chased, and overlooked. Yet in those hidden places I was shaping a heart that could lead with humility. David did not become strong because life was easy. He became steady because he learned that I was with him when the path was not easy. That is what I have been teaching you. Your strength has not come from never being afraid. Your strength has come from finding me while fear was near. Your courage has not come from having every answer. It has come from taking the next step because you knew my hand was still holding yours. Do not measure your progress only by what has changed around you. Some of the greatest victories have happened inside you. The fear that once controlled every thought no longer speaks with the same power. The wound that once defined you is beginning to lose its name over you. The shame that once made you hide is no longer the room where your soul must live. That is victory. Quiet victory, yes, but heaven sees it. My beloved child, you have outgrown things you once believed you would never escape. You have released conversations that used to replay in your mind. You have survived disappointments that once felt too heavy to carry. You have learned to breathe again in places where you thought joy could never return. Do not rush past this. There is a holy strength in recognizing what my grace has already done. You do not need to pretend the journey was easy in order to honor the fact that you are still standing. I am not asking you to minimize the pain. I am asking you to see that pain did not get the final word. My love did. There are people who may only see the outside of your life. They may not know the prayers you prayed in secret. They may not know the thoughts you fought silently. They may not know how many times you chose faith when your emotions felt tired. But I know, and my knowledge of your journey is more important than their understanding of it. You have been kept by a grace deeper than your awareness. When you felt alone, I was near. When you felt empty, I was still pouring strength into hidden places. When you felt like nothing was changing, I was changing the way your soul stood beneath pressure. Think of an old lighthouse on the coast. Storms strike it, waves rise against it, winds howl around it. Yet its purpose is not proven by the absence of storms. Its purpose is revealed because the light keeps shining while the storm is still loud. My child, I placed light in you. And even when you felt dim, that light did not go out. It may have flickered under grief. It may have felt small beneath exhaustion. But I kept it, I guarded it, I breathed over it, and now little by little it is growing brighter again. This is why I tell you to lift your eyes, not in pride, but in gratitude. Not because you carried yourself perfectly, but because I carried you faithfully. You did not make it this far by accident. You did not survive those seasons by your own strength alone. My mercy was woven through every step, even the steps that felt unsteady. My beloved child, I want you to stop calling yourself weak because you needed help. Receiving help from me was not failure. Leaning on me was not defeat. It was the very path by which your soul learned where true strength comes from. Those who wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall rise with wings like eagles. That promise is not only for people who never grew tired. It is for those who became tired and still turned their faces toward me. And that is you. So receive this truth without arguing against it. You have overcome more than you know. You have walked through pressure and did not lose my love. You have walked through confusion and did not lose my guidance. You have walked through weakness and did not lose my purpose. I am not finished with you. The victory I am building in you is not only about surviving what happened, it is about becoming someone who no longer needs the world to confirm what I have already spoken. And as this truth grows deeper, you will be ready to release another burden, the burden of proving your worth to people who were never meant to define you. My voice will become the place where your heart rests again. My beloved child, as my voice becomes your resting place, I want to free you from another weight you were never meant to carry. Stop proving your worth to the world. You have spent so much strength trying to be understood, accepted, noticed, and approved. You have tried to become enough for those who kept moving the line. You have tried to show your value to eyes that were too distracted to truly see you. But my child, you do not become valuable when someone finally recognizes you. You were valuable before they looked. You were valuable before they listened. You were valuable before they stayed. Your worth did not begin in human approval, so it cannot end in human rejection. I know how exhausting it has been. You have carried the quiet pressure to prove that you are strong, useful, faithful, kind, capable, lovable, and worthy of being chosen. You have measured yourself by responses, by silence, by comparison, by doors that opened for others, by words people said. But that is a heavy way to live. It is like standing outside in changing weather, asking every cloud to tell you who you are. One moment the sky is bright and you feel hopeful. The next moment the wind rises and you question everything. My beloved child, you were not made to build your identity from shifting skies. You were made to be rooted in my love. A tree does not ask travelers if its roots are real. It does not beg the wind to approve its strength. It simply remains planted where life has been given to it. Season by season it grows, quietly, steadily, without asking the world for permission to become what I created it to be. This is the kind of life I am restoring in you, a life that stops chasing applause, a life that no longer collapses under criticism, a life that no longer confuses being unseen by people with being forgotten by me. My beloved child, I saw you long before others knew how to value you. I knew your name before anyone spoke it. I understood your heart before anyone misunderstood it. I held your story before anyone judged one page of it. So why are you still giving so much power to voices that cannot see the whole picture? People may see your delay and call it failure. I see preparation. People may see your quietness and call it weakness. I see humility. People may see your hidden season and think nothing is happening. I see roots growing where no applause can reach. You do not need to convince everyone. You need to remain close to me. There is peace in accepting that some people will not understand your journey. Not because your journey lacks meaning, but because they were never assigned to interpret it. They cannot name what only I have authority to name. Remember Jesus, my child. He walked among people. He came to love and save, yet many misunderstood him. Some questioned his motives, some rejected his words, some saw miracles and still refused to believe. But he did not let their misunderstanding pull him away from his purpose. He stayed anchored in the Father. That is what I am teaching you. Do not spend your life trying to win approval from every crowd. Crowds can praise one day and turn away the next. Human opinion often changes with mood, fear, envy, and misunderstanding. But my word over you is steady. My love does not change because someone failed to recognize what I placed within you. My beloved child, approval can become a cage when you begin to need it in order to breathe. You start choosing words to avoid rejection. You start hiding gifts because someone once mocked them. You start shrinking your joy because others are uncomfortable with your light. You start living as a smaller version of yourself, hoping that if you are careful enough, no one will leave. But I did not call you to disappear so others would feel safe. I called you to walk in truth with love. This does not mean you become proud. It does not mean you stop listening to wise correction. A teachable heart is precious to me. But there is a difference between receiving wisdom and begging for validation. Wisdom helps you grow. Validation addiction keeps you trapped. I am freeing you from the trap. You can love people without making them the source of your worth. You can serve others without needing their applause to feel alive. You can be kind without surrendering your identity to their opinion. You can walk humbly without crawling under the weight of their expectations. My beloved child, let me remove the need to be constantly explained. Some things in your life will only make sense with time. Some parts of your growth are too sacred to be defended before impatient eyes. A seed does not explain itself to the soil. It simply rests, opens, and grows when the season is right. So rest in me. Let your heart stop presenting evidence to the world as if you are on trial. You are not on trial before people. You are held before me. When you live from that place, your steps become lighter. You no longer rush to prove you are not behind. You no longer panic when someone misunderstands your silence. You no longer twist yourself into shapes that are easier for others to accept but painful for your soul to maintain. You begin to live honestly. You begin to speak when I lead you to speak, and stay quiet when peace calls you to be still. You begin to choose what is right without needing immediate praise. You begin to work faithfully in hidden places because you know I see what is done in secret. My beloved child, a rose does not become beautiful because people gather around it. It blooms because that is what I placed within it. If no one passes by for a while, it is still a rose. If a careless foot crushes a petal, it does not lose the fragrance I gave it. You are the same. What I placed in you remains precious, even when it has not yet been celebrated. So stop living as if your worth is waiting for a vote. Stop asking rejection to define you. Stop asking comparison to guide you. Stop asking people to give you an identity only I can give. Come back to the center where my love speaks first. From there, you will not need to prove your value. You will live from it. You will not need to force recognition. You will allow your life to bear fruit in the right season. And as you stop proving your worth to the world, I will begin to show you something beautiful. The life I am healing in you will not be hidden forever. It will become a quiet light for others, not because you demanded attention, but because my peace within you will naturally shine. My beloved child, as you stop proving your worth to the world, my light within you will begin to shine in a quieter way. Not the kind of light that demands attention, not the kind that needs applause to feel alive. I am speaking of the light that comes from a healed soul. A light that rests in my love, walks in my peace, and carries comfort without trying to impress anyone. For a long time, you may have thought your healing was only about you. You wanted relief from pain. You wanted your heart to breathe again. You wanted the heaviness to leave the memories, to soften the fear, to loosen its grip. And my child, I care about all of that. I care about your inner world. I care about the places no one else can see. But I want you to understand something beautiful. What I restore in you will not stop with you. The peace I plant in your heart will become shade for someone standing in the heat of their own battle. The mercy I show you will become mercy you know how to offer. The comfort you receive from me will become comfort that flows through your words, your presence, your patience, and your kindness. You will not need to force it. When a lamp is filled with oil and placed, it does not strain to shine. It simply burns from what has been placed within it. In the same way, when my love fills the hidden places of your life, your presence begins to carry warmth without performance. People will feel it before they can explain it. They will notice your calm in moments where others panic. They will notice your gentleness in conversations where anger could have taken over. They will notice that you do not need to speak loudly. They will sense that something steady lives inside you. That something is my peace. My beloved child, I am not healing you so that you can hide forever. I am healing you so that your life can quietly testify that grace is real, not with perfect words, not with a polished story, not by pretending you were never hurt, but through the humble beauty of a person who has been touched by me and is learning to live differently. Remember the woman at the well. She came carrying thirst deeper than water. She came with a story marked by shame and longing. People may have looked at her through what they knew of her past, but when she encountered Jesus, her story did not end in hiding. She left her water jar and went back to the people carrying a testimony. Come see a man who told me everything I ever did. Do you see, my child? The place where shame once kept her silent became the place where testimony began to speak. That is what I can do with a surrendered life. I do not need your story to be spotless. I do not need your past to be simple before I bring light through it clearly. I do not need you to have every answer before your life can encourage someone else. I only need your heart near mine. There are people who will one day need the wisdom born in your waiting. They will need the compassion that grew from your pain. They will need the gentleness you learned when life made you slow down. They will need the hope you found when the road looked closed and I still made a way. Do not underestimate what I have formed in you. The world often celebrates loud gifts. It notices platforms, titles, numbers, and success. But I also work through quiet faithfulness, a gentle word spoken at the right moment, a listening ear offered without judgment, a peaceful response in a tense room, a prayer whispered over someone who feels forgotten. These small lights matter to me. Matthew 5:16 says, "Let your light shine before others, that they may see your good works and glorify your Father in heaven." Notice, my child, the light is not for proving. It is not for showing the world how impressive you are. It is for pointing hearts back to me. That is why your healing must stay rooted in humility. You are not becoming light because you are better than others. You are becoming light because I met you in the dark and taught you that darkness does not have the final word. You are becoming light because you know what it feels like to need mercy, and now you can carry mercy with tenderness. My beloved child, some of the most powerful ministry flows from people who remember what it felt like to be weak. They do not speak down to the hurting. They sit beside them. They do not offer empty phrases. They offer presence. They do not rush others through grief. They know healing takes time because I was patient with them first. That is the kind of light I am shaping in you. A light with compassion, a light with patience, a light with truth, a light with peace. I know you may still feel unfinished. You may wonder how your life could help anyone while you are still learning to trust me yourself. But my child, light does not need to be enormous to be useful. Even a small candle can help someone find the next step. Let me use the light you have today. Do not wait until you feel perfect. Do not wait until every wound has disappeared. Do not wait until your voice never trembles. Walk with me now, and let the life I am restoring in you touch the people I place along your path. There will be moments when someone opens their heart to you because they sense safety in your presence. There will be moments when your simple honesty gives another person permission to stop hiding. There will be moments when your calmness becomes a reminder that peace is still possible. These moments may seem small to you, but they are sacred to me. I am weaving your healing into the healing of others. Not by pressure, not by performance, by presence, by love, by obedience in small moments. My beloved child, your life will not shine because you never suffered. It will shine because suffering did not take my love from you. It will shine because grief did not erase my purpose. It will shine because delay did not cancel my promise. It will shine because I kept you, restored you, and taught your heart to carry hope again. So do not hide what I have healed. Do not be ashamed of the places where grace found you. Let your life become a quiet invitation for others to believe that I can meet them too. And as your light begins to touch the lives around you, I will teach you how to walk with wisdom. I will show you when to speak, when to listen, when to move, and when to be still. For a life that shines must also learn to recognize my gentle guidance along the way. My beloved child, as your life begins to shine with the peace I have placed within you, I want to teach you how to recognize my gentle guidance. Not every direction from me will arrive loudly. Not every answer will come with a dramatic sign. Sometimes I will guide you through a quiet knowing in your spirit. Sometimes I will guide you through peace that remains after prayer. Sometimes I will guide you through a closed door that no longer feels like rejection, but like protection. Sometimes I will guide you through a small invitation to pause, to listen, to wait, or to take the next step. My child, I have never stopped leading you. But there were seasons when fear became so loud that my whisper felt far away. Your mind ran ahead of the moment, searching for danger, trying to solve every possible outcome before it happened. And when the soul is crowded with noise, even the clearest guidance can feel difficult to hear. That is why I have been bringing you back to peace. Peace is not only comfort, peace is also a compass. When my peace settles within you, you begin to sense what is life-giving and what is draining. You begin to notice which doors carry grace and which doors demand that you lose yourself. You begin to recognize which voices draw you closer to me and which voices pull you into pressure, confusion, and fear. My beloved child, do not despise the small ways I lead you. A shepherd does not need to shout at sheep that know his voice. He walks before them. He calls with a familiar tone. They follow because they have learned the sound of safety. In the same way, I am teaching your heart to know my voice, not by panic, but by trust. You may have expected my guidance to always feel like certainty without any trembling, but often guidance begins with a quiet step of obedience. You may not see the whole road. You may not know how everything will unfold. Yet there will be a peace beneath the uncertainty that says, walk with me here. That peace is precious. Guard it. There are decisions fear will try to rush. Fear says, decide now, or you will lose everything. Fear says, hold tightly, or the blessing will disappear. Fear says, if you do not control this, you will be left behind. But my guidance does not need to bully your soul. I may correct you. I may challenge you. I may ask you to move when staying feels easier. But even my correction carries love. Even my challenge carries grace. I do not lead by torment. I lead by truth, joined with peace. Remember Elijah, my child. He had seen powerful things, wind, fire, and shaking. Yet when he needed to hear me deeply, I came in a gentle whisper. Not because I was weak, but because his exhausted heart needed tenderness, not more noise. I know your heart has been tired too. So do not assume I am absent simply because I am not speaking through thunder. Many times I am closer than you think, speaking through the calm thought that returns again and again, through the scripture that meets you at the right moment, through the wise word of someone who carries humility, through a door that opens without forcing, through an uneasiness that tells you to slow down before you move. My child, guidance is not always a map for the whole journey. Sometimes it is only enough light for the next step. And that is not cruelty, that is mercy. If I showed you every turn at once, your heart might become overwhelmed. So I give you what you need for today. A lamp for your feet, a word for this hour, a peace for this decision, a warning for this path, a strength for this morning. Trust me with the rest. You have often wanted to know the ending before obeying the beginning. You wanted assurance that nothing would hurt, nothing would change, nothing would require courage. But growth does not happen that way. Faith is not the absence of unknowns. Faith is walking with me while the unknowns remain under my care. My beloved child, when you are unsure, return to me before you run to fear. Bring the decision into prayer. Ask me for wisdom. Then become still enough to notice what happens inside you. Does the thought pull you into frantic pressure, or does it invite you into steady obedience? Does the path require you to betray peace, or does it strengthen what I have been healing in you? Does the voice sound like condemnation, or does it carry correction with hope? These questions will help you discern. I am not hiding my will from you like a puzzle meant to exhaust you. I am a father who leads. I know how to reach the child who truly wants to follow. You do not need to be afraid that one imperfect step will make me abandon you. If your heart is turned toward me, I can guide, redirect, correct, and restore. My guidance is patient. Like a father teaching a child to walk, I do not mock every stumble. I hold out my hand again. I steady the next step. I turn the child gently when they drift toward danger. I celebrate movement that may look small to others because I know what it means for the child to trust my hand. That is how I am walking with you. One step, one breath, one act of trust. One quiet yes at a time. My beloved child, you will begin to see that many things you once called coincidence were actually my care. The person who encouraged you when your hope was thin, the delay that saved you from entering too soon, the sudden clarity after prayer, the small door that opened when every large one seemed closed, the restlessness that kept you from choosing what would have wounded your spirit. I was there. I am still there. And as you learn my gentle guidance, your life will become less driven by panic and more shaped by peace. You will not need to chase every open door. You will not need to answer every demand. You will not need to fear every delay. You will walk slower, but with more trust. You will listen longer, but with more clarity. This is the rhythm I am forming in you. A life led by presence, a heart guided by peace, a spirit trained to recognize my voice above the noise. So stay near, my beloved child. Do not rush past the quiet places. Do not ignore the small nudges of grace. Do not treat peace as something weak when it is one of the strongest ways I guide you. I will teach you to know the difference with patience, clarity, and gentle love. And as you learn to recognize my gentle guidance, You will also learn to reject another voice, the voice that has pretended to protect you, but only brought darkness. Anxiety is not the voice speaking over you. My beloved child, now that you are learning to recognize my gentle guidance, I want you to become clear about a voice that has troubled your heart for far too long. Anxiety is not the voice speaking over you. It may sound urgent, it may sound convincing, it may sound as if it is trying to protect you, but my child, anxiety does not lead you into peace. It pulls you into a crowded room of fearful pictures, unfinished conversations, imagined losses, and heavy thoughts that were never meant to rule your inner life. I know this voice has been familiar. It has visited you in the morning before your feet touched the floor. It has followed you through the day while you tried to keep going. It has waited for the quiet of night when the world became still and your mind became loud. It asked, what if this fails? What if they leave? What if nothing changes? What if you are not strong enough? What if the door never opens? But my beloved child, every thought that enters your mind does not carry my authority. Every fearful picture is not prophecy. Every heavy feeling is not truth. Sometimes anxiety takes a small shadow and paints it across the whole future, making your tomorrow look darker than my promise. Do not let fear become your storyteller. I am the one who speaks the final word over your life. When I speak, I may ask you to face something honestly, but I will not bury you beneath hopelessness. When I guide, I may show you what needs wisdom, but I will not crush your spirit with panic. My voice can correct, but it also restores. My voice can warn, but it also steadies. My voice leads you toward light, not deeper into darkness. This is how you can begin to discern. Anxiety shouts, hurry, or everything will fall apart. My peace says, pause, and let me guide the next step. Anxiety says, carry it all now. My love says, give me what was never yours to hold. Anxiety says, prepare for the worst so you will not be surprised. My truth says, trust me enough to live today without rehearsing every sorrow that has not come. My beloved child, I have seen how many times you suffered in your mind before anything ever happened in your life. You lived through conversations that never occurred. You grieved losses that had not arrived. You carried fear like a bag packed for a journey I never asked you to take. That weight has made your soul tired, but I am not angry with you for being tired. I am inviting you to put the weight down. Philippians 4 says, do not be anxious about anything, but in everything by prayer and thanksgiving. Present your requests to God, and the peace of God will guard your heart and mind. Notice, my child, I do not ask you to pretend you have no concerns. I ask you to bring them to me. Bring me the thought that keeps returning. Bring me the fear you are embarrassed to say aloud. Bring me the question that has sat in your chest for too long. Prayer is not a performance for strong people. Prayer is the open door through which weary children come home. When anxiety rises, do not argue with it for hours in the dark. Turn toward me. Speak honestly. Say, Father, this thought is heavy. I do not know what to do with it. I place it in your hands. Teach my heart to trust you here. That simple turning matters. It is like opening a window in a room that has been closed too long. Fresh air enters slowly. The room does not change all at once, but the atmosphere begins to shift. The heaviness begins to move. Your heart remembers that it was not created to live sealed inside fear. My beloved child, I want you to learn that fear often disguises itself as responsibility. It tells you that worrying proves you care. It tells you that if you stop worrying, you will become careless. But worry is not wisdom. Panic is not preparation. Fear is not faithfulness. True responsibility begins with trust. You can do your part without trying to do mine. You can make wise choices without making anxiety your counselor. You can prepare with diligence without letting fear sit on the throne of your thoughts. Look at the birds in the morning. They do not know every detail of the day ahead, yet they still rise and sing. Their song is not ignorance. It is the rhythm of creatures held by my care. And you, my child, are worth far more to me than the birds that cross the sky. If I notice their wings, how could I forget your heart? If I provide for their morning, how could I abandon your tomorrow? I am not asking you to be careless. I am asking you to stop treating anxiety as if it is the only thing keeping you safe. My hand keeps you. My wisdom guides you. My presence surrounds you. There will be moments when fear returns. Do not condemn yourself when it does. Learning peace is a process. A mind trained by years of worry does not always become quiet in a single day, but each time anxiety rises, you can practice returning. Return to my word. Return to your breath. Return to gratitude. Return to the truth that you are not alone. Say gently to your own soul, I am held by God. I am guided by God. I do not have to obey every fearful thought. These words are not empty phrases. They are seeds of truth. And when you plant truth again and again, fear loses the ground it once claimed. My beloved child, anxiety wants your attention so it can shape your vision. It wants you to see the future through trembling eyes. But I am healing your vision. I am teaching you to look at life through trust, not terror, through hope, not dread, through my promise, not the loudest possibility. My beloved child, the thoughts you feed will shape the room your heart lives in. If you feed fear every morning, fear will grow louder. If you feed truth, truth will begin to stand like a strong wall around your inner life. This is why I call you to guard your heart. Not because you must become afraid of every feeling, but because your heart is precious ground. I do not want weeds of fear to choke the tender hope I am growing within you. Let me tend that garden with patience with my gentle peace. So when fear speaks over you, do not bow. Listen for my voice beneath the noise. My voice will remind you that you are loved. My voice will call you back to peace. My voice will guide you toward the next faithful step, not the entire mountain at once. And as you learn to reject anxiety as your ruler, I will teach you something stronger. I will teach you how to let truth renew your mind. My beloved child, now that you are learning not to bow to anxiety, I want to teach you how to let truth renew your mind. This renewal will not come by forcing your thoughts into silence with fear. It will not come by pretending that every concern has disappeared. It will come as my truth enters the places where old lies have lived too long. Your mind has carried many voices. Some came from disappointment. Some came from rejection. Some came from years of trying to stay strong while quietly expecting the next wound. Some came from moments when fear spoke so often that it began to sound like wisdom. But my child, a familiar voice is not always a true voice. Just because a thought returns does not mean it belongs. Just because a fear feels powerful does not mean it has authority. Just because an old lie has lived in your mind for many seasons does not mean it has the right to remain there. I am not only healing your heart, I am renewing the way you see yourself, the way you see your future, the way you see this season, the way you see me. For a long time, anxiety trained your mind to look for danger before it looked for grace. It taught you to expect loss before you expected provision. It taught you to rehearse rejection before love could speak. Your thoughts became like a window covered in dust. Light was still outside, but your vision became dim. My beloved child, I am cleaning that window, not with harshness, with truth. Romans 12 speaks of being transformed by the renewing of the mind. This is an invitation into a new way of living. I want to transform not only what you do, but how you think before you move. I want to renew not only your actions, but the hidden beliefs that shape your reactions. When you believe you are abandoned, you react from fear. When you believe you are loved, you respond from peace. When you believe your future is unsafe, you grasp at control. When you believe I am there, your hands begin to open. Do you see, my child, the mind is like soil where many seeds are planted. If fear is planted again and again, fear will grow. If truth is planted daily, truth will rise and bear fruit in your life. That is why I am asking you to pay attention to what you allow inside your thoughts. Do not let every passing fear build a house in you. Do not let every painful memory become the teacher of your future. Do not let every negative word spoken over you become the language you use against yourself. You are allowed to reject a thought that does not agree with my love. You are allowed to say, this is not the voice of my Father. You are allowed to return to truth, even if you must return many times in one day. My beloved child, renewal is not always instant. Sometimes it feels like learning a new path through an old forest. At first, your feet return to the trail you know best, the trail of worry, self-doubt, and fear. But each time you choose truth, you take a step in a new direction. Slowly, a new path is formed. Slowly, your soul learns where peace lives. Do not be discouraged by slow healing. I am patient with the process. A river does not carve a valley in a single morning. It moves steadily until even stone begins to yield. My truth works in you with that kind of faithful power. It may seem gentle, but it is stronger than the lies that have tried to hold you. So speak truth over your soul, not as empty words, as agreement with me. Say, I am held by God. Say, I am not abandoned. Say, I am guided with love. Say, my future is in faithful hands. Say, peace is where I belong. These words matter, my child. They are reminders that turn your face back toward what is real. When fear tells you one story, truth teaches your soul to answer with another. Remember the disciples walking on the road to Emmaus. They were confused, disappointed, and unable to understand what had happened. Their minds were filled with sorrowful interpretations. Yet Jesus walked beside them and opened the scriptures to them. As truth was revealed, their hearts began to burn with new understanding. My child, I still walk with discouraged hearts. I still open truth along the road. I still turn confusion into clarity, step by step, word by word, until the heart begins to see differently. That is what I am doing with you. I am walking beside the thoughts that feel confused. I am meeting you inside the questions. I am opening truth where fear closed your understanding. There are things you once saw only through pain. I am teaching you to see them through grace. There are delays you once called punishment. I am teaching you to see preparation. There are weaknesses you once called disqualification. I am teaching you to see dependence. There are closed doors you once called rejection. I am teaching you to see protection. This is renewal, not the denial of reality, but the healing of perception. You will still face real decisions. You will still walk through unfinished places. You will still have moments when your emotions feel stirred. But the renewed mind no longer lets fear interpret everything first. It pauses. It listens. It asks, Father, what is true here? My beloved child, this question will save you from storms. What is true here? Not what is loud, not what is worst, not what shame says, not what anxiety predicts. What is true? Truth will remind you that I am near. Truth will remind you that you are mine. Truth will remind you that one hard day is not the whole story. Truth will remind you that you can be honest about pain without surrendering your hope. I want your mind to become a place where my peace can rest, a place where gratitude has room to breathe, a place where wisdom can speak without being drowned by panic, a place where hope can grow without being choked by fear. This will happen as you return to truth daily. In the morning before fear gives instructions, turn your heart toward me. In the middle of the day when pressure rises, pause and remember who holds you. At night when thoughts reopen, old worries, let truth close the door gently. Say, Father, I give this back to you, and then rest. My beloved child, I am renewing your mind so that your life can move in a new rhythm. A rhythm no longer driven by panic, comparison, or shame. A rhythm shaped by peace, gratitude, prayer, and trust. And as my truth becomes the ground beneath your thoughts, I will teach you how to build that rhythm day by day until peace is no longer only a moment you visit, but a way of living with me. My beloved child, as my truth becomes the ground beneath your thoughts, I want to teach you how to live in a new daily rhythm of peace. Not only in the quiet moments when everything feels calm, not only when the house is still, the phone is silent. I want peace to become the way you return to me throughout the day. For a long time, your days may have begun with pressure. Before your feet touched the floor, your mind was already opening old worries. You thought about what might go wrong. You remembered what still had not changed. You carried tomorrow into the first breath of the morning. My child, that is not the rhythm I created you to live in. I created you to begin with me. Before the noise enters, before the demands gather, before fear tries to give instructions, let your soul turn toward my presence. Not with perfect words, just with honesty. Say, Father, I am here. Hold this day with me. That small turning matters. It is like opening the curtains at sunrise, but light enters and the whole atmosphere changes. This is what prayer does in the morning. It does not always remove every responsibility, but it reminds your heart that you are not carrying responsibility alone. My beloved child, I want you to begin noticing my care in small things. The warmth of a cup in your hands, the breath in your lungs, the quiet strength to stand again, the simple mercy of another morning. Gratitude is not pretending life has no difficulty. Gratitude is training your eyes to see grace while the journey is unfolding. When you name what is good, fear loses some of its space. When you thank me for small mercies, your soul remembers that I am still providing. The people of Israel received manna in the wilderness one day at a time. They could not gather tomorrow before tomorrow came. They had to learn daily trust. And my child, I am teaching you the same. You do not need strength for every future season today. You need grace for this day, and I will provide it. So receive the morning slowly. Do not let anxiety steal the first word. Let my faithfulness speak first. Then as the day moves and responsibilities rise, I want you to learn the holy pause. Not a long escape, not a dramatic moment, just a simple return. When your thoughts begin to race, pause. When your chest feels tight, pause. When frustration begins to shape your tone, pause. Place your hand over your heart. Breathe with me. Remember that you are not alone in that hour. The world often praises constant motion. It tells you that stopping means falling behind. But my child, many hearts are exhausted because they keep moving without ever returning to the source of peace. A lamp cannot keep shining if it is never filled. A riverbed cannot carry water if it is cut off from the spring. You are not weak because you need to return to me. The holy pause protects your spirit from being ruled by the moment. It gives you space to answer with gentleness instead of reaction. It helps you hear. My guidance before fear makes the decision for you. Even one quiet breath with me can change the direction of your next word. My beloved child, I am not asking you to become distant from life. I am teaching you how to remain present without being swallowed by pressure. You can work with peace. You can serve with peace. You can answer messages, care for people, make decisions, and fulfill responsibilities while still keeping your inner life near me. Peace is not the absence of action. Peace is the presence of trust inside the action. At midday, when the day feels crowded, return to this truth. I am with you here, not only in the morning prayer, not only at church, not only in moments that feel spiritual. I am with you in ordinary places too. In the kitchen, in the car, at the desk, in the hallway, in the waiting room, in the quiet corner where you feel unseen. No place is too ordinary for my presence. When evening comes, my child, do not let the day close with only exhaustion. Sit with me for a moment. Look back gently. Ask where my grace appeared. Maybe it was in a kind word. Maybe it was in patience you did not think you had. Maybe it was in protection you only noticed later. Maybe it was simply that you made it through. Do not despise small victories. Small victories are often the stones I use to build a stronger heart. If you only look for great miracles, you may miss the quiet ones I send each day. A peaceful conversation, a moment of clarity, a burden that felt slightly lighter, a fear that rose but did not rule you. These are signs of my work within you. My beloved child, at night, release what remains unfinished. Do not carry the whole day into your sleep like a worker who refuses to set down the tools after sunset. Your body needs rest. Your mind needs rest. Your heart needs rest. Rest is trust wearing a quiet face. Before you sleep, give me what you could not finish. Give me the conversation still unresolved. Give me the worry still circling. Give me the person you cannot fix. Give me the future you cannot control. Say, Father, I place this in your hands tonight. Then let your soul lie down beneath my care. Psalm 127 says that I give sleep to those I love. Receive that gift. Let sleep become a field of peace where I restore what the day tired within you. My beloved child, this new rhythm will not be built by one perfect day. It will be built by many small returns. Morning by morning, pause by pause, evening by evening, prayer by prayer. Do not condemn yourself when you forget. Simply return. I am not counting your failures. I am teaching your heart a new home. And little by little you will notice the change. Your reactions will soften. Your thoughts will become less crowded. Your decisions will carry more clarity. Your words will become gentler. Your eyes will begin to notice grace in places you once passed without seeing. Peace will no longer feel like a visitor. It will become a rhythm, a way of walking, a way of breathing, a way of living with me. So build this rhythm with me, my beloved child. Start small, start honestly, start today. Let your mornings open in trust. Let your midday pauses return you to my presence. Let your evenings gather gratitude. Let your nights release every burden back to me. And as this rhythm of peace becomes steady within you, I will give you new eyes for your own story. You will look back and begin to see what you could not see before. Not only pain, not only delay, not only loss. You will begin to see my hand moving quietly through it all again. My beloved child, as the rhythm of peace becomes steady within you, I want to give you new eyes for the road you have already walked. For a long time, you looked at your journey through the fog of pain. You saw delay. You saw loss. You saw closed doors. You saw seasons that seemed too quiet, too heavy, too confusing to carry any meaning. But my child, pain does not always show you the whole picture. It shows you the wound, but not always the healing I am bringing through it. It shows you the waiting, but not always the preparation being formed inside it. It shows you the tears, but not always the seeds those tears have watered in hidden ground. I want you to look again, not with eyes trained by fear, not with eyes tired from disappointment. Look with me. Let me stand beside you as you look back. Let me place my hand gently over the parts of your memory that still feel sharp. Let me show you that what seemed random was not outside my care. Let me show you that what seemed wasted was not beyond my redemption. There were moments you thought you were only surviving, but I was teaching you endurance. There were moments you thought nothing was happening, but I was deepening your roots. There were moments you thought you had been pushed aside, but I was preserving you from rooms that could not hold the person I was forming. My beloved child, I know some memories still feel like unfinished sentences. You remember the question, but not the answer. You remember the prayer, but not the breakthrough. You remember the doorway that stayed closed, but not yet the reason it could not open. Do not force yourself to understand everything at once. New vision often comes gently. Like morning mist lifting from a valley, it reveals one piece of the landscape at a time. First a tree, then a path, then a stream, then the shape of the hills that were hidden only moments before. This is how I will help you see. Little by little, what was once covered in confusion will begin to carry meaning. Not because every painful thing was good, but because I am good enough to work through what hurt you. Not because every loss was my desire, but because no loss is stronger than my ability to restore. My child, nothing given to me remains useless. Even the seasons you would not choose can become places where wisdom grows. Remember the servant of Elisha. He looked around and saw enemies surrounding the city. Fear told him they were trapped. Fear told him the visible danger was the whole truth. But Elisha prayed that his eyes would be opened. And when his eyes were opened, he saw that the hills were filled with the help of heaven. The situation had not changed yet, but his vision changed. And when vision changed, fear lost its throne. My beloved child, this is what I am doing in you. I am not asking you to deny what happened. I am opening your eyes to see that what happened was never all that was happening. There was more around you than the threat, more within you than the weakness, more ahead of you than the delay. You were not alone in the valley. You were surrounded by my faithfulness in ways you could not see then. When you look back with fear, you may only see the places where life hurt you. But when you look back with me, you will also begin to see the ways I carried you, the strength that came at the right moment, the person who spoke kindness when you needed it, the idea that arrived when your hope was thin, the door that closed before it could harm you, the quiet courage that rose in you when you did not know courage remained. These were not accidents. They were traces of my hand. My beloved child, I want you to stop calling your journey a mistake simply because it has taken turns you did not expect. A river does not become lost because it bends. Sometimes the bend is what helps it reach the place it was always meant to go. The path may not be straight, but I can still guide it toward purpose. Your life has bends, your story has pauses, your heart has questions, but none of these mean I have left the story. I am still the author, and I know how to gather scattered chapters into a testimony of grace. There will come a day when some things that once confused you will begin to make you tender instead of bitter. You will understand why I asked you to wait. You will understand why certain things could not remain. You will understand why I slowed you down when you wanted to rush forward. You will understand that I was protecting your peace before you even knew how valuable peace would become. Until that day, trust me with what you do not yet understand. You do not need to explain every season in order to be healed from it. You do not need to know every reason in order to keep walking. You only need to let me teach your eyes to look for grace, even in places that still feel unfinished. My beloved child, new vision will also change how you see yourself. You will no longer look at your scars only as evidence of hurt. You will begin to see them as reminders that you were held through what tried to break you. A healed scar does not mean the pain was imaginary. It means the wound did not win. Let that settle in your heart. The wound did not win. The delay did not win. The rejection did not win. The silence did not win. My love is still speaking. My mercy is still restoring. My purpose is still alive in you. When your eyes are healed, gratitude will begin to rise where resentment once sat. You will no longer see your journey as a chain of accidents, but as a road watched over by my care. Even the places that still ache will become softer in my hands, because you will know I was present there, patiently gathering every piece and teaching your weary soul how to trust again. So look again, my child. Look at the long road and notice how many times grace met you there. Look at the hard seasons and notice how they did not have the power to erase my promise. Look at the waiting and notice how it taught you to depend on me more deeply. And as your vision heals, your heart will stop living in constant defense. You will not need to fear every memory. You will not need to brace for every tomorrow. You will begin to stand on something steadier than explanation. You will stand on my peace. And that peace, my beloved child, will no longer be only a moment that visits you. It will become the inner foundation from which you live. My beloved child, now that your eyes are learning to see your journey, I want to build something steady within you. I want peace to become your inner foundation, not a passing feeling that visits when life is quiet, not a fragile comfort that disappears when another problem rises. I am speaking of peace that stays beneath you like solid ground. Your heart has lived as if peace could only come after everything was settled, after every question was answered, after every person understood, after every need was met, after every door opened, after every fear finally stopped returning. But my child, if peace waits for life to become perfect, then your soul will always be waiting outside its rest. I do not want that for you. I want peace to live inside you before the situation changes. I want peace to steady you while the answer is still unfolding. I want peace to become the place from which you breathe, decide, speak, wait, and walk. My beloved child, a house is not strong because the weather is gentle. A house is strong because its foundation holds when the storm comes. Rain may strike the roof, wind may press against the walls. But if the foundation is firm, the house does not have to fear every cloud that appears. That is what I am forming in you. A foundation that does not depend on the mood of the day. A foundation that does not collapse when someone disappoints you. A foundation that does not shake every time the future feels uncertain. This foundation is my presence, my love, and the truth that you are held by me. When peace becomes your foundation, you will still feel emotions. You will still care. I am not making you numb, cold, or distant. I am making you rooted. There is a difference. A rooted heart can feel the wind without being carried away by it. A rooted soul can face sadness without believing. Sadness is the whole story. A rooted spirit can wait without assuming waiting means abandonment. My beloved child, I know how easily your heart used to react. One unexpected word could trouble your whole day. One delay could open a doorway to fear. One silence could make your mind build painful explanations. You were not weak. You were tired from living without a settled center. Now I am becoming that center within you. Not because I was absent before, but because you are learning to notice me there. Remember Jesus in the boat while the storm rose around him. The waves were real. The wind was real. The fear of the disciples was real. Yet he slept in peace, not because he did not understand the storm, but because he was not ruled by it. Then he stood and spoke peace over the waters. My child, I am not only able to calm the storm around you, I am able to calm the storm within you. Sometimes I will change the circumstance quickly. Sometimes I will teach your soul to remain steady while the circumstance changes slowly. Both are acts of my love. Do not think I have failed you, because I am first bringing peace inside you before changing what is outside you. The inner work is holy. When your foundation is rebuilt, you stop making decisions from panic. You stop answering people from fear. You stop chasing every open door as if it is your last chance. You stop treating every delay like a threat. You begin to ask different questions. Father, is this from you? Father, does this carry peace? Father, what step is mine today? Father, what must I release into your hands? This is maturity, my beloved child. Not having no emotions, but letting my peace govern them. Not having no problems, but no longer letting problems become your master. Not having every answer, but standing on the one who does. Colossians 3 says to let the peace of Christ rule in your heart. That means peace is not only meant to comfort you after trouble, it is meant to guard the gate of your inner life. It helps you know when to move and when to wait, when to speak and when to be silent, when to hold on and when to release. My peace is a faithful guardian. Let it rule gently. Let it slow the rushed decision. Let it soften the anxious answer. Let it quiet the thought that demands you solve everything tonight. My beloved child, I know there are unfinished things around you. There are prayers still waiting. There are relationships still uncertain. There are dreams still being shaped. There are questions still resting in my hands. But unfinished does not mean unsafe. Unanswered does not mean unloved. Delayed does not mean denied. You can live with open questions and still have a finished assurance within you. I am with you. Think of a harbor where ships find shelter. Outside the sea may rise, but inside there is space to anchor, repair, and wait until the time is right to sail again. My presence is that harbor for your soul. Come into me when the world grows loud. Come into me when your thoughts begin to scatter. Come into me when you feel pulled in many directions. You do not need to drift wherever the pressure pushes you. You have a place to return. My beloved child, peace will also change how you carry other people. When your foundation is weak, every opinion feels like a threat. Every need feels like an emergency. Every conflict feels like it could destroy you. But when peace becomes your foundation, you can love without losing yourself. You can care without carrying what belongs to me. You can listen without absorbing every fear around you. This is not selfishness. This is spiritual steadiness. I am teaching you to live from the inside out. The world does not get to decide the condition of your soul every morning. Circumstances do not get to sit on the throne of your heart. People do not get to become the foundation of your peace. I do. So let me build deeply. Let me strengthen the hidden places. Let me place stone after stone of truth, trust, patience, and surrender within you. There will be days when you feel steady and days when you need to return to me many times. Do not be discouraged. Foundations are strengthened through repetition. Each return to me matters. Each prayer matters. Each decision to breathe before reacting matters. Little by little, your inner life will no longer feel like a tent blown by every wind. It will become like a home built on rock, safe in my care, steady in my truth, quiet in my presence. My beloved child, let peace become your inner foundation. Not a decoration on the surface of your life, but the ground beneath everything. From that ground, you will begin to see what you no longer need to hold. You will recognize the burdens that were never yours. And with a heart made steady by my presence, you will be ready to surrender what you cannot control. My beloved child, now that peace is becoming the foundation beneath your soul, I want to teach you the freedom of surrendering what you cannot control. This is not the surrender of defeat. This is not giving up. This is not lying down under fear and calling it faith. The surrender I am inviting you into is the rest of a child who finally understands that my hands are stronger than their own. For a long time, you have tried to hold too much. You have tried to hold outcomes, timing, people, opinions, unfinished prayers, and futures that have not yet arrived. You have carried tomorrow inside today until today became too heavy to enjoy. My child, I saw how tired your hands became. I saw how often you held on because you were afraid that releasing would mean losing. You thought if you stopped worrying, you would become careless. You thought planning every ending would protect you. But control has never been the same as safety. Worry has never been the same as wisdom. Holding everything has never been the same as trusting me. There are things I have placed in your hands, and there are things I have never asked you to carry. I ask you to be faithful with the step in front of you. I ask you to speak truth, choose love, walk with wisdom, pray honestly, and obey what I show you today. But the timing belongs to me. The unseen details belong to me. The hearts of other people belong to me. The doors beyond your reach belong to me. My beloved child, when you try to carry what belongs to me, your soul becomes weary in ways sleep cannot fix. You can rest your body and still wake up tired if your heart refuses to release what only I can hold. So come closer, open your hands. Not because what you love does not matter, it matters to me. But open your hands because I can care for it better than fear can. Think of someone carrying a heavy basket across a long road. At first they believe they can manage it. Then the weight begins to cut into their arms. Their steps become slower, their back aches. Their eyes stop noticing beauty because all they feel is the burden. Then a strong father comes beside them and says, "Give it to me. I can carry this with you." That is what I am saying to your heart. Give it to me. Give me the conversation you cannot force. Give me the result you cannot produce. Give me the person you cannot change. Give me the memory you cannot rewrite. Give me the future you cannot see. I am not asking you to stop caring. I am asking you to stop carrying alone. My beloved child, surrender begins with honesty. Do not come to me with the words you think sound spiritual while your heart is still hiding. Tell me the truth. Tell me what you are afraid to lose. Tell me what you are tired of holding. Tell me where your faith feels small. Tell me where you still want control, because trust feels risky. I can meet you there. I am not offended by the places where your surrender is still trembling. A child learning to let go of a rope does not need shame. They need reassurance that loving arms are ready to catch them. My arms are ready. Proverbs chapter 3 says to trust the Lord with all your heart and not lean on your own understanding. My child, this does not mean you stop thinking. It means you stop making your limited understanding the throne of your life. Your understanding sees a small piece. My wisdom sees the whole road. Your understanding sees the delay. My wisdom sees the preparation. Your understanding sees the closed door. My wisdom sees the protection behind it. Your understanding sees the unanswered prayer. My wisdom sees the answer being shaped in a way your heart could not yet recognize. This is why surrender requires trust. You are not surrendering to emptiness. You are surrendering to me. You are not releasing your life into nothing. You are releasing it into the hands of the one who formed you, loves you, guides you, and knows what each season requires. Remember Mary, my child. When the angel came with a message beyond human understanding, she did not receive a full map. She did not see every road, every sorrow, every miracle, every cost, or every glory that would unfold. She simply offered a surrendered yes. May it be done to me according to your word. That yes did not make her life easy, but it placed life in the rhythm of my purpose. My beloved child, I am not asking you for a perfect plan. I am asking you for a surrendered yes. Yes, Father, I will trust you with what I cannot see. Yes, Father, I will obey in what you have shown me today. Yes, Father, I will release the burden that has been stealing my peace. Yes, Father, I will stop treating control like my Savior. This yes may feel small, but heaven sees it. Every surrendered yes opens space for my grace to move where fear used to sit. When you surrender, your hands become lighter. And when your hands become lighter, they can finally receive what I am placing before you. Clenched hands cannot receive freely. A clenched heart cannot rest deeply. But an open heart becomes a place peace can enter. My beloved child, there will be days when you release something in the morning and try to pick it back up by evening. Do not condemn yourself. Simply return. Surrender is often practiced more than once. It is a daily turning, a quiet return, a holy habit of placing the burden back into my hands. Say, Father, I gave this to you and I give it to you again. That prayer is not failure. It is faith learning to breathe. Little by little, you will notice that what once ruled your thoughts begins to lose power. You will still care, but you will not be consumed. You will still plan, but you will not worship the plan. You will still love, but you will not try to control another soul. My peace will guard you there. My wisdom will guide you there. My strength will meet you there. So surrender what you cannot control, my beloved child. Place the unknown future in my hands. Place the unanswered questions in my hands. Place the outcome, the timing, the healing, and the next door in my hands. And then turn your attention to what I have given you today. Because surrender is not the end of action. It is the beginning of faithful action without fear. Once your hands are no longer full of what belongs to me, you will be ready to hold what I have placed before you now. The next step. The small obedience. The grace for today. And this is where I will lead you next into the quiet power of being faithful with today's step. My beloved child, now that you have placed what you cannot control into my hands, I want to draw your eyes to what is right in front of you. Be faithful with today's step. Do not let your mind run so far into tomorrow that you miss the grace I have placed beneath your feet today. I know how easily your thoughts travel ahead. You imagine outcomes. You prepare for problems that have not arrived. You measure the distance between where you are and where you want to be, and your heart becomes tired before you even begin. But my child, I am not asking you to carry the whole road. I am asking you to walk with me in this step. If I showed you the entire journey at once, your soul might feel overwhelmed. You would try to solve things that belong to later seasons. You would carry burdens meant for future grace without receiving the strength prepared for that future day. So I give you enough light for now, enough wisdom for this decision, enough strength for this morning, enough courage for this conversation, enough peace for this breath. My beloved child, faithfulness is not always dramatic. It is often quiet. It is choosing to get up and try again. It is doing the honest thing when no one is watching. It is praying with a tired heart. It is forgiving slowly, working patiently, listening carefully, and choosing trust when fear would rather take the lead. Do not despise the small step. A staircase is climbed one step at a time. A field becomes fruitful through many small seeds. A wall is built by placing one stone after another. The life I am shaping in you will also be built through small acts of obedience that may seem ordinary but are precious to me. You have often wanted the big answer before taking the small step. You wanted the full map before beginning the walk. You wanted to know whether everything would work out before offering me your yes. But faith does not always begin with full understanding. Faith often begins with the next faithful thing. Make the call with love. Write the words with honesty. Rest when your body needs rest. Apologize where humility is needed. Begin the work that has been waiting. Pray before you react. Choose peace before the old fear answers for you. These are not small in my sight. These are holy places where trust becomes visible. Remember Noah, my child. When I asked him to build the ark, he did not see the rain yet. He did not control the opinions of others. He did not know every detail of what was coming. But day after day, he placed one piece of wood where I told him to place it. His obedience looked repetitive to the world, but in my hands it was becoming protection for the future. That is how I often build. Not through panic, not through rushing, through steady obedience, through faithfulness in what is before you. My beloved child, you may feel that your step today is too small to matter. You may think, what can one prayer change? What can one act of patience change? What can one day of obedience change? But I see what you cannot see. I see how one surrendered moment opens space for another. I see how one gentle answer prevents a wound from deepening. I see how one honest prayer keeps your heart near me. I see how one faithful choice becomes a seed, and how seeds become harvests in the right season. You are not responsible for producing the whole harvest today. You are responsible for planting faithfully. Let that bring relief to your soul. The harvest belongs to my timing. The growth belongs to my power. The hidden work beneath the soil belongs to my wisdom. Your part is to place the seed and trust, water it with obedience, and leave the increase in my hands. My child, this is where many hearts become weary. They try to be faithful and control the outcome at the same time. They obey, but then they dig up the seed every hour to see if it has grown. They pray, but then they panic when the answer is not immediate. They take one step, but then demand to see the end of the road. I am teaching you another way. Walk simply, trust, do today's step with love, then release the rest to me. Tomorrow has enough concerns of its own. I do not say this to dismiss your future. I say it because I love your heart too much to watch it drown in days that have not yet arrived. I am already in tomorrow. You do not need to move there before me. Stay with me here. There is beauty in ordinary faithfulness. There is holiness in washing the dish with gratitude, answering with patience, showing up to the work before you, caring for your body, offering kindness, reading one passage, praying one honest prayer, taking one small step. The world may not applaud these things, but heaven notices. I notice. I notice the effort behind what others call simple. I notice the courage behind the smile. I notice the obedience behind the quiet choice. I notice the faith behind the small beginning. Do not wait for a perfect feeling before you obey. Feelings may follow later. Peace often grows as you walk, not before you move. Sometimes the path becomes clearer only after your foot touches the ground. When Israel crossed the Jordan, the waters did not part while they stayed far away. The priests stepped forward first, their feet touched the water, and then the way opened. My child, there are openings you will only see as you obey the next step I give you. So do not freeze because you cannot see everything. Move with me in what you do see. If I have shown you kindness, practice kindness. If I have shown you forgiveness, begin releasing bitterness. If I have shown you a task, do it with a faithful heart. If I have shown you rest, receive it without guilt. If I have shown you to wait, wait with trust instead of resentment. Each step matters. My beloved child, I am not measuring you by speed. I am not asking you to race. I am not comparing your journey to someone else's timeline. I am forming steadiness in you. A soul that walks with me slowly can become stronger than a soul that runs ahead but loses peace. So breathe. Take today's step, not tomorrow's, not next year's, today's. And when the day ends, place the unfinished pieces back into my hands. Say, Father, I did what you placed before me. What remains belongs to you. That prayer will teach your soul freedom. And as you keep walking this way, day by day, step by step, you will begin to notice that faithfulness is not only changing your circumstances, it is changing you from within. It is making your heart softer, steadier, wiser, and more ready to receive the deeper healing I am bringing next. My beloved child, as you become faithful with the step I have placed before you today, I want to bring my healing deeper than the surface. Let me heal you from the inside, not only the places people can see, not only the parts of your life that look tired from the outside. I am speaking of the hidden rooms of your heart, the memories you avoid, the fears you learn to live with, the old disappointments that still shape how you trust, how you love, how you wait, and how you see yourself. My child, I do not only want to change your circumstances, I want to restore the place inside you where those circumstances left a mark. For a long time, you have tried to keep moving while carrying wounds that were never touched. You learned to function. You learned to answer when people ask if you were fine. You learned to keep plans, complete tasks, help others, and appear steady. But inside, certain places still felt guarded. I saw that. I saw the parts of you that became careful after being hurt. I saw the tenderness you covered with strength. I saw the way you stopped expecting good things too quickly, because disappointment had trained you to protect yourself. But my beloved child, protection without healing can slowly become a prison. Walls built from pain may keep certain wounds from being touched, but they can also keep love from entering deeply. I do not want you to live behind walls forever. I want to heal the places that made you believe walls were your only safety. Come closer. You do not need to be afraid of my touch. I do not enter your wounded places with blame. I enter them with tenderness. I do not pull open what is fragile to shame you. I uncover what needs healing so my light can reach it. A wound hidden in darkness remains tender for a long time. But when it is brought into clean light, when it is washed with care, when it is covered with patience, healing begins. It may be slow. It may feel uncomfortable at first, but it is holy. That is what I am doing within you. I am touching the places where rejection taught you to question your worth. I am touching the places where betrayal taught you to expect loss. I am touching the places where waiting made you wonder if my promises had passed you by. I am touching the places where grief made your heart quiet. You may have thought those places were too complicated for healing, but nothing inside you is too hidden for my love. Nothing is too tangled for my wisdom. Nothing is too old for my mercy to reach. Remember the man who lay by the pool for many years, waiting for someone to help him into the water. He had lived with his condition so long that the place of waiting became familiar. When Jesus came to him, he did not only see the years, he saw the person beneath them. He asked, "Do you want to be made well?" My child, I ask you that with love. Do you want to be made well not only outwardly but inwardly? Do you want me to heal the way you expect pain? Do you want me to heal the way you speak to yourself? Do you want me to heal the way you hide when love comes near? Do you want me to heal the way you carry responsibility that was never yours? I will not force healing upon a heart that keeps every door locked. I invite. I knock. I wait with patience. But when you open even a small place to me, grace begins to enter. My beloved child, healing does not mean you forget everything. It means what happened no longer controls the way you breathe. It means the memory loses the power to define you. It means you can look at the scar and say, I was hurt there, but I was also held there. Do not rush this work. Deep healing grows like roots after rain, quietly, beneath the surface, without applause. Some days you may feel strong. Some days an old ache may rise again. Do not panic when it does. It does not mean you are back where you started. It means another layer is ready to be brought into my care. Bring it to me, again and again. I am not tired of your healing process. I am not impatient with your tenderness. I am not disappointed that some places still ache. A loving physician does not despise the wound because it needs more time. He returns with care. He cleans gently. He watches over the healing until strength comes back. That is how I watch over you. My beloved child, there are parts of you that pain tried to harden, but I am making them soft again. Not weak, soft. Able to love without living in suspicion. Able to hope without bracing for disappointment. Able to receive kindness without wondering when it will disappear. Able to trust me without measuring my love by what happened before. This softness is not defeat. It is resurrection in quiet form. A heart of stone may feel protected, but it cannot fully receive. I am giving you a heart that can feel again, breathe again, trust again, and become alive in places that went numb. I know you fear being hurt again. I know you wonder whether opening your heart will make you vulnerable to more pain. But my healing does not leave you careless. It gives you wisdom. It teaches you to love with discernment, to hope with maturity, to trust without losing the peace I have planted within you. Healing does not remove wisdom. It restores wholeness. My beloved child, the inner healing I am doing will begin to show outwardly in simple ways. Your words will become gentler because your heart is less defended. Your decisions will become clearer because fear is no longer shouting over peace. Your rest will become deeper because you are no longer carrying hidden battles into the night. You will smile again without forcing it. You will pray again without feeling distant. You will receive joy without immediately questioning it. And little by little, your life will feel less like survival and more like restoration. That is my desire for you. Not a life where you pretend the wound never happened. A life where the wound is no longer the ruler. So let me heal you from the inside, my beloved child. Let me enter the memories, the fears, the guarded places, the tired hopes, and the parts of you that still whisper, can I really be whole again? Yes, my child. In my hands you can be healed. In my love you can be restored. In my presence you can become whole. And as this healing takes root within you, I will begin to lead you forward into the season ahead, not as someone who is surviving old pain, but as someone ready to walk into new purpose with a heart alive again. My beloved child, now that my healing has begun to reach the hidden places within you, I want you to lift your eyes toward the season ahead. Walk into the new season with purpose, not with fear, not with the old heaviness, not with the belief that you are only moving forward because you have no other choice. I am calling you forward because there is life ahead of you. There is peace to carry. There is wisdom to walk in. There are people your restored heart will touch. There are doors I have prepared for the right time, and there are paths that will make sense as you walk with me. My child, the new season is not simply a change in circumstances. It is a change in the way you stand within them. You will not enter it as the same person who entered the valley. You have been held through tears. You have been strengthened through waiting. You have been softened through mercy. You have been taught to listen, surrender, rest, and trust. So do not walk forward as if nothing has changed. Something has changed inside you. You are no longer only reacting to pain. You are learning to live from peace. You are no longer asking fear to guide you. You are learning to follow my voice. You are no longer carrying old shame like a name. You are learning to stand as my beloved child. That is purpose. Purpose is not only a large assignment seen by many people. Purpose is also the holy way you live. The next breath, the next conversation, the next decision, the next quiet act of faithfulness. A person walking with me carries purpose even in ordinary places. My beloved child, I know part of you still wonders what this new season will look like. You want details. You want timing. You want to know which door, which person, which opportunity, which answer will arrive first. But I am not asking you to know everything. I am asking you to walk with me. A traveler does not need to see the whole road when the guide is faithful. They need to stay close enough to hear direction. They need to trust the hand that knows the mountain, the river, the narrow place, and the open field beyond it. I know the way ahead of you. I know where your strength must be protected. I know which doors will bless you, and which doors only look attractive from a distance. I know when to move you quickly, and I know when to ask you to wait longer. Trust my pace. Do not run ahead because you are afraid of missing out. Do not stay behind because fear tells you that you are not ready. Walk with me. That is enough. My beloved child, the new season will require you to carry the lessons of the old season without carrying its chains. Remember what I taught you, but do not live trapped inside what wounded you. Keep the wisdom, release the bitterness. Keep the discernment, release the fear. Keep the humility, release the shame. You are allowed to move forward lighter. You are allowed to receive joy again. You are allowed to expect goodness without apologizing for hope. Hope is not foolish when it is rooted in me. Guard your heart, yes, but do not seal it so tightly that my grace cannot flow through it. I am making your heart alive again, and an alive heart can love, create, pray, serve, rest, and begin again. Remember the people of Israel when they stood near the land I had promised. Behind them was wilderness. Before them was a place they had not yet fully known. They could not carry the mindset of slavery into the fullness of promise. They had to learn to trust me, not only as the one who brought them out, but as the one who could lead them in. My child, I have not only brought you out of something, I am leading you into something. Out of fear into peace, out of shame into belonging, out of survival into restoration, out of confusion into guided purpose, out of heaviness into a life that can breathe again. Do not make a home at the edge of breakthrough, because the unknown feels uncomfortable. The old season may feel familiar, but familiar does not always mean safe. Sometimes the place that feels known is the place I have already asked you to leave. Step forward with me. You do not need to step perfectly. You need to step honestly. My beloved child, in this new season, your purpose will often look like peace expressed through your life. It will look like gentleness where you once reacted. It will look like courage where you once hid. It will look like patience where you once panicked. It will look like obedience where you once delayed because fear argued too loudly. Small changes will become sacred signs that my work in you is real. And others will notice not because you announce yourself, but because a restored soul carries a different fragrance. Your words will carry more grace. Your eyes will carry more hope. Your presence will carry more rest. You will become a living reminder that I can rebuild what life tried to scatter. My beloved child, do not be afraid of becoming visible in the right season. You have been hidden for a reason, but hidden does not always mean forever. I form roots in secret so the tree can stand when the branches are seen. I prepare hearts in quiet places so that when the door opens, they do not lose themselves in the room. When I open the right door, enter humbly. When I place someone before you, love sincerely. When I give you work to do, do it faithfully. When I ask you to rest, rest without guilt. When I ask you to speak, speak with truth and compassion. When I ask you to wait, wait with trust, not frantic, not proud, not desperate, steady in my presence. My beloved child, your life is not behind. Your story is not ruined. Your healing is not wasted. The road ahead is not empty. I have woven grace through every season, and I will continue to guide you with the love that kept you when you could barely keep going. Lift your head with courage. Take the next step. The new season is not calling you to prove yourself. It is calling you to walk as one who has been loved, healed, guided, and restored. I am with you in the opening door. I am with you in the quiet morning. I am with you in the unknown road. I am with you in every faithful step. Go forward, my beloved child, not as someone chased by the past, but as someone led by my hand. Walk into the new season with purpose, peace, and hope. And as you go, remember this always: I was with you in the night. I am with you in the dawn. And I will be with you in every day still to come.